So, here is my very first director's ranking video. I know, there's like so many directors out there that I did not rank. I could have ranked because they have like a short amount of films, like Christopher Nolan or Edgar Wright. And I haven't even done like a top 5 or a top 10 directors such as Steven Spielberg or Martin Scorsese. Listen, I want to do these videos. I do have like some ideas. Like I do have some plans of what I want of like directors I want to rank in the future. It's just that I don't know. It's like either I haven't had the time. I haven't seen any of their films. Like I still have like 3 more Nolan films to watch before, I could actually like rank them. And I think I will be able to actually rank all soon to be 12 Nolan films. Maybe when his Oppenheim movie comes out. But anyway, I'm going to rank all of Wes Anderson's films. It's actually I loved watching Wes Anderson. Wes Anderson is up there with my 7 favorite directors. Okay, a fly just fell in my room. Oh God. All right, but anyway, Wes Anderson. I've enjoyed watching all of his movies. And today I'm finally going to review all 10 of his films since his new recent one, French Dispatch, a movie that has been it's been probably the top 3 movies that I've been wanting to see, like, due to the pandemic and all that. So yeah, I've been wanting to see the French Dispatch, and now I'm finally here, and I finally see all his films. So now I am ready to rank all top 10 Wes Anderson films. So I guess let's get right into it with number 10, which is going to disappoint a lot of people. But I guess I should point out, I like all of his films. I don't think any of them are bad. But number 10 is sadly Fantastic Mr. Fox. I know. This film is really great. The film is great animation, but I think it has been overhyped a bit. And again, I think the film has a lot of good stuff to it, but I think just like this is on like people like I just don't get how people think this is their favorite movie. I mean, it's fine if it's your favorite movie, but it's like, really? When it's his best Wes Anderson film? I mean, when I finally get to like number, to my top 5, like Fantastic Fox is better than like the other than like my top 5. I don't know, but I will admit, like, George Clooney and Jason Schwartzman, Meryl Streep, I think it's there's Grindelwald, I think like Grindelwald from Harry Potter, the second one. He's good. He's good as like the evil tall guy. He's fun. And animation's good. That's really it. But again, like, I respect it. I think as a kid's film, it's good. But I just think, like, the characters are just kind of not interesting, besides just Jason Schwartzman and Wes Anderson's brother characters. And that's just kind of it. But I will admit, it's good that we have an actually good kids movie. But yeah, that's Fantastic Mr. Fox. It's just a little overrated. Alright, so on to number 9, which is Bottle Rocket. Now, Bottle Rocket is actually a very fun film to watch. Owen Wilson, Luke Wilson are very fun in it. James Caan is kind of fun. The problem is the fact that this is kind of just his first movie, and it just kind of comes off as like, because if you didn't know, this film is actually, technically it's a remake of his short film, which also starred Owen Wilson and Luke Wilson, and it kind of like had the same premise. But this full film just kind of feels like him trying to make it a bigger movie, just because of what Sony Pictures or Columbia was like, they wanted him to remake the entire thing. And that's like the biggest problem, is that it feels like Wes Anderson's trying to make like somewhat of a full-length movie out of this, but it's not working out. but it is really good. I think a lot of the camera work is still fun, and it is interesting just kind of like seeing when Wes Anderson was a bit more like was kind of just low budget a bit, and like the films were more like gritty, more like not like how like they're now kind of there's technically in this like fantasy worlds now, and like it's in his own head now, but it's nice to see when these movies were like in like the real world. I don't know. It is like I miss when his movies like were realistic. But that's Bottle Rocket. It's good. Now number 8 is the Darjeeling Limited. I did not like this movie at first, but I actually keep warming up to it. This might have my favorite soundtrack of his. I don't know. Out of all of them, maybe this or Royal Tenenbaums. This is my favorite soundtrack of his. I like a lot of this film. I like Owen Wilson, Adrian Brody, Jason Schwartzman's chemistry as brothers. That is basically the main highlight. I like the whole plot about it. It's about these brothers that are trying to, connect in India, in a very spiritual place, and it is somewhat like, and it's a great setting, and it is just, it's a great film about brothers, and there's not that much about it. It's a good movie, and I warm up to it. A second time, it is good to see it at a second time. All right, number 7, Isle of Dogs. Now, Isle of Dogs, I think it's better than Fantastic Mr. Fox, and the biggest thing is that it's a bit longer, and it's got a lot, and it feels like a lot more is happening, and I really do like a lot. The animation is, I think I'm kind of mixed, because Fantastic Mr. Fox is a little more, is neat, but Isle of Dogs has a very gritty feel to it, just because the fact that it takes place on a trash island of all places. But it is that, and it's really like it's his most political movie. There's a lot of like politics in this one. That was very fascinating to me. But it's overall, I think it's a very fun film. Bryan Cranston is really great. I think the story is just basically, it's an overall celebration of dogs and political corruption. And that's really it. Isle of Dogs, I like it. Alright, so, next film, number 6 is the new one, The French Dispatch. Now, alright, so French Dispatch, I love it on a lot of levels. It's one of his best production designs, like, it's full on him, and I really love it. I love all the acting is great. The biggest problem is the fact that it's an anthology film, and I think as you watch the movie, what you find interesting is that all the shorts, all the 3 films, there's this decline in length in them. Like the first one with Benicio del Toro, Adrian Brody, and Léa Seydoux, it feels the longest one, and then when you get to the last 2, they feel a little shorter for some reason as it goes on. And that's why I think this movie should have just been the thing that the Steve McQueen Small Axe thing, which was the collection of 5 films that was on a streaming service. I think that's what it should have been. But I mean, I guess Wes Anderson won in the theaters. But I just think overall, maybe making it an anthology film is not the best idea. And as I'm watching this, a lot of people like The Concrete Masterpiece, but I have to admit, I actually like the one with Timothée Chalamet and Frances McDormand. I think it's called The Manifesto. That's actually my favorite one, and I like that French actress Juliette. She actually was good in that. But overall, I like the one with Timothée Chalamet and Frances McDormand. That's my favorite one out of the 3. All right, so now on to my top 5. These are my favorites. This top 5, this would be, in my top 50 or 30 favorite movies of all time. So, I guess, right on, number 5 is Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou. This is, I believe it is still his lowest grossing film on IMDb, on Rotten Tomatoes. And, I mean, my only big complaint is that I think it is way too long. But I think the story is really good. It's the whole this story just about this like famous oceanographer, documentary filmmaker, who's kind of just come to the end of his career, and it's almost like, and it's about him losing everything, and it's just about him going out for revenge, and there's all these like subplots going on, and I like it. I think it's a really good film overall. It's definitely his most underrated movie. I don't really have too much to say. It's definitely one of his best looking films, but the only problem is just that it's overall too long, and I think actually, now thinking about it, I think maybe this is just kind of him thinking that he could be very big, and then kind of realizing maybe don't be so big and too long. But I guess this and The French Dispatch is the closest to kind of seeing Wes Anderson do an action film. And that would be great if Wes Anderson did kind of a straight-up action film. But alright, anyway, so number 4 and number 3, very mixed on. But for now, number 4 is Rushmore. This would have been number 3. This was originally number 3 when I was just like, when it was like half of a list, kinda. But I love Rushmore. It's one of my favorite high school movies, and even though it's a very weird high school film, the whole point is basically a student that's in love with a teacher, and a parent that's in love with a teacher, and they're all friends. It's all weird, and that's why I like it, how quirky and insane the whole thing is. And it's overall just a very fun film. It's a great film that's for Jason Schwartzman, and this would actually be the beginning of Wes Anderson's career with Bill Murray, who has actually not been in, like starting for the Rushmore, he has not been in, he's been in all of Wes Anderson's movies besides Bottle Rocket. He's been in all of them, including Darjeeling Limited. And if you've not seen the film, he's in it. He's just not in it in a lot. But yeah. So yeah, that's Rushmore. I really love it. It's funny. I don't know. It's a funny movie. And then number 3 is The Royal Tenenbaums. I'm just kind of split on this one because this is definitely, I will admit, this Rushmore is, you can definitely say Bottle Rocket, Rushmore, and Royal Tenenbaums is kind of this trilogy of his first 3 films, and him building up to what he would, become of today. And Royal Tenenbaums definitely has a lot, especially his trailers and his biggest trademark, having a huge cast. I mean, it's an insane cast. It's Owen Wilson, Luke Wilson, Ben Stiller, Gene Hackman, Angelica Houston, Bill Murray, Gwyneth Paltrow, and Ben Stiller's wife, who is in there. It's a big cast overall, and that's pretty impressive, I will admit. This is his first. It's overall his first movie with the major cast. And I really do like it. It is this great film about family coming together. And I love Gene Hackman's character is so great. And it's sad that he would not make another movie with Wes Anderson together. I would definitely put him up there with actors that I want to see do more with him, especially with Bruce Willis, who I'm going to soon get to. But Royal Tenenbaums, I think I just need to rewatch it again because I've only seen it once, and that's why I sort of have it at number 3 or Rushmore. But I like him as the same way, as part of this trilogy that ends with Royal Tenenbaums, with Wes Anderson, finally coming full-fledged to who he really is. So now on to number 2, which is part of why I'm wearing my Scout uniform, and that is Moonrise Kingdom. I just love this film. I don't really know how much to say. I think as a film that is a great love letter to Boy Scouts, even though they're called khaki scouts for some reason. I don't know why they're not called Boy Scouts. But how just Wes Anderson shoots it, it's just so great. I don't know. A Boy Scout Wes Anderson film is really great, but the overall story is amazing. Or just, it's just this nice, small little movie just about these kids who run away and the people after them. And they're just people who have troubles, and it's about how they escape to this island and through books. And I think it's a really good movie that tells a great story, and that's why I just love Moonrise Kingdom. I can't say them. I can't say like the words. Just say how good this film is. It's just such a nice, peacefully calm movie. But so yeah, so now on to my number one favorite Wes Anderson film. That is The Grand Budapest Hotel. I think this is definitely, if I'm to go back to my best films of the decade, this definitely replaces Guardians of the Galaxy as the best film of 2014, because it really is. This is just such an amazing movie, and because this one kind of does break a lot of the rules of Wes Anderson. It doesn't follow a lot of the tropes, and doesn't have any songs in it. And it's just it's very funny. This is definitely one of the funniest ones. And this is, again, like him making like an action movie a bit. And, I mean, because it's an adventure film with Ray Fiennes and Flash Thompson. And it's such an overall fun film. And this is just it. This is just like, I feel like Wes Anderson, like, at his perfect height. I would overall just say, watch all of his movies. I would just watch my top 4, not Life Aquatic, but watch my top 4 favorite Wes Anderson films, and that's really it. So there you go, guys. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I will definitely be planning more director rankings, and no, I won't be doing Edgar Wright soon, because I know he just released a film, but I still haven't seen World's End or Baby Driver yet. But that's it, guys, so thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe, and leave a comment saying what are your favorite Wes Anderson films. And I'll see you next time. Goodbye.